So Erik ten Hag there, the Manchester United boss, saying Donny van der Beek has to prove he can cut it or face being sold after he ruled out a loan move in January. I think a positive is that he wants to give the player time to improve, but I think a lot of Manchester United fans will be surprised by it, particularly over the last few games. I was at Old Trafford last night and Donny van der Beek didn't look like he knew what his role was, really. He looked confused more than anything else, but he was pretty much absent. It was his third straight start. It meant Bruno Fernandes got pushed over to the right-hand side to accommodate van der Beek in the number 10 position, really, and it did not work for Manchester United in a first half, which was absolutely dreadful for them. But actually, as a Man United fan, I think a loan move might be good for him. I know he went to Everton. It didn't really work out there either. But Erik ten Hag is thinking of a player of the past that he worked with at Ajax that hasn't had the shock, really, of a big move which hasn't really worked out. And I think that would have massively dented the confidence of Donny van der Beek. And that is why he's still not seeing the player that he worked with a few years ago. The big move to Manchester United hasn't worked at all for Van der Beek, who, by the way, missed out on a place in the Netherlands World Cup squad today as well. And that will dent his confidence even further. And I think, however they get it back, they need to get that confidence back. I don't know if that's going to happen at Old Trafford.
Yeah, look, I think from Donny van der Beek's perspective, you mentioned him, looking lost in the game yesterday. And sometimes as a player, when that happens, it's actually not the player's fault. It's down to the manager. It's down to the coaching staff to communicate their expectations of what they're looking for from that player in that role. And so, yeah, you kind of feel for him a little bit in terms of, he's gone through that big move. It didn't work out. He's gone out on loan. Did okay, has come back and really isn't seeing the impact that you kind of expected seeing given the hype around the move. But yeah, I think there's obviously something which Ten Hag sees in him in terms of the potential that he can deliver. But like you said, is that a historical version of the player or is that current player? And I think, yeah, if truth be told, it's that historical version of the player. However, players sometimes need more time to adapt than usual. And if he does get that time, can he have the impact? Can he deliver for the United fans and for the club in a way which is going to satisfy, all in terms of the move and the transfer fee, etc. But if it isn't going to happen, then for all parties, the sooner that the player leaves, in a formal and concrete manner, the better. And so I'd agree, there's no point loaning him out. He's not a 17, 16-year-old coming through the academy. He's a player who's moved for decent money. There's expectation around him. There was hype around him as well. And yeah, he hasn't delivered, but that's not to saying that he can't.
Game Day Countdown with Hugh Woozencroft. Every Friday night from 7 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.